Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to the Piper Report. So, I know I've gotten a lot of new subscribers since I did a video regarding this before, so I will kind of summarize what I said before. I was in favor of Trump and the U.S. pulling out of the Paris Accord agreement, and I was in favor of it for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, it was actually a really damaging deal for the U.S. taxpayers. We would get screwed with billions and billions of dollars of tax dollars to fund this. Money we don't have. I mean, we are almost $20 trillion in debt. Our deficit, although coming down, is at $560 billion. And the only reason it's coming down is because of our weapons deal we sold to Saudi Arabia. Once that goes through, our deficit will start going up and our debt will continue to increase due to the accumulated compounded interest on our currency, on our monetary policy. It all comes back to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is responsible for the weak value of our dollar and our credit. But I digress on that. But that's one of the main reasons. It hurts the U.S. It hurts job growth in the U.S. and it allows China and it allows India to continue mass producing their coal plants, mass producing their energy that has a bad carbon footprint, that has high CO2 emissions. It actually is not a good deal. I also said in my past video regarding this that if he can renegotiate this deal and get it where the U.S. doesn't get screwed paying the majority of the funds, and that China and India have to also bend down or have to also follow the rules accordingly, just like the U.S., then I would say let's do it. But until China and India are actually brought in on equal terms with the U.S., this deal should not go forward. As for the consequences of this deal, either positive or negative, if everything, this is based on studies, if everything happened in the Paris Accord deal that Obama wanted to happen, by the year 2100, we would have stopped or slowed down global warming by 8 months. We would have saved about 1.8 degrees on the temperature. So, 0.18 degrees on the temperature. So in 100 years, less than 2 degrees or less than 1 degree, we actually will help the world. So that's also a way to look at it. But also, and this may be not the most important, but definitely a big importance of it, is that if you actually read the Paris Accord deal, the contract, the agreement, in my last video, I actually posted a link on there so you could actually read the whole thing. Essentially, what it is, it's nothing but a mass distribution of wealth from the richer countries, primarily the U.S., to the poorer countries in order to help them become more clean energy and to help them industrialize more. At the same time, hurting Americans from their wallets and also their jobs. That is very key, and that is very important, that this is, in essence, nothing but a mass distribution of wealth from the rich to the poor. Ironically, and here's the kind of ironic thing about all this, the rich people in Hollywood, they're the ones pushing this, and they're the ones saying that Trump doesn't care about the planet, doesn't do this and that. They had one person on CNN making these claims that the U.S. emits more CO2, I forgot what the exact number is, but so much CO2, it's insane. Well, instead of trying to build up smaller countries and hurt the U.S. taxpayer, how about we start with the rich people in the U.S.? How about we start with all those actors and actresses in Hollywood who take their private jets everywhere, who take their limos and cars everywhere they go, who have homes all over the U.S. and all over the world and fly there for vacations? How about we get them to settle down? How about we get them to abide by certain stipulations and certain regulations? Let's bring our CO2 emissions down that way, instead of harming the American people by making them pay for money they do not have, that we do not have. If we really want to battle against climate change, we need to start at home. And we need to start with people who do the worst to the climate, whose lifestyles have the biggest effect on the climate. And that is the actors and actresses of Hollywood, the pop singers, all these people who like to live these lavish lifestyles. Let's rein them in first before we screw over the taxpayer. So after seeing this, I'm going to play this video here. I have to mute it though, because if I don't, it's copyright. And I don't know if they give me a warning or if they don't let me monetize. I don't know. Either way, I can't have the music. So let's watch the video quick. It's only 30 seconds. And there you have it. I would not like this. I would not like this if Donald Trump decides to go back to the agreement without any renegotiation. If he does do that, I will definitely be upset with Trump and this decision, and I will call him on it. Even though I voted for Trump, I do not agree with everything he says, everything he does. And if he takes the U.S. back into this climate deal, without renegotiating, without making it more fair, making it fairer for the U.S. with other countries, then this is a bad idea. And I am all for clean energy. I am. I have 3 associate's degrees. One of them is in applied science with a major in process plant technology. Then I have a bachelor's of applied science in energy management. So I have dealt and I have worked in the energy field for years. I understand clean energy, understand oil, fracking, all that stuff. I am for green energy, but we cannot do it at the expense of our taxpayers, of our citizens. Until we actually have better technology to do all this stuff for energy, to enlighten the U.S. toward more clean energy facilities, we have to maintain what we have. We have to maintain the plants that we have, the coal that we use. We cannot just get rid of it like that. It just doesn't work like that. And there was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember it now. It kind of pisses me off because it was important. I forgot about it. I can't remember. But like I said, I'm all for coal. I'm all for clean energy. But we have to understand what we're doing. We cannot just screw over the people and lose millions of jobs and millions of billions of dollars. And I'm done.